Hello, very good morning. Welcome to a beautiful Thursday morning. It's the time to bring you the National Policy Focus. It's still live on MBN TV. We're live from our location, 10th Avenue Extension, Greater Estate. My name is El Samuels, and I'm here together with
Bernard Agbemo Eduji.
Bernard Agbemo Eduji. We want to say a very big thank you to all of you for joining us. Don't forget, you can also share your thoughts with all the conversations we're going to have this morning on 053-715-8638 is the number. 053-715-8338 is our number. And also, we also live on our Facebook, X, and YouTube, MBN 360. Go watch us, like it, share it, and we say good morning. Obake, welcome. Akwaba, Indiname, Adiachi and Bium, Ichichobia. Want to say, it's a beautiful day. Before, I know everybody is doing fantastically well, and I'm doing well too. I'm here with Bernard, and we're going to look at our main scripture this morning. Is from a first scripture reading. Is from the book of. We're turning our attention to look at Romans chapter 8, the verse 37. It's a common verse everybody loves to read. And it says, and I'm reading from the Amplified, it said, "Yet amidst all these things, we are more than conquerors. In all these things, we are more than conquerors and gains a surpassing victory through him who loved us. Yet amidst all these things, we are more than conquerors and gain a surpassing victory through him who loved us." Romans 8:37. And that is the word of God in association with the Maranatha Power Ministry International. Remember, the International Leadership Conference is coming off on the 17th to the 22nd of February 2026. All you need to do is to be able to register and be part of this gathering and learn from the feet of the leadership and know how your life. I like the theme for the word leadership brings elevation. Loyalty brings elevation. So what do you make of our scripture for this morning? The Romans chapter 8, the verse 37 is one of the most common scriptures that is often used, that in all things we are more than conquerors.
Yeah.
This morning I want to share with you that you are more than a conqueror, or we are more than a conquerors.
Yeah. Yes. So, before this scripture, Paul was saying that for the sake of the people they preach to, they are being killed all day. They suffer persecution and all of that. And then the next verse, he says that yet, in all of these things, we are still more than conquerors. Yes, so regardless of all the persecution, regardless of all the challenges or the difficulties, once we are in Christ, we are still more than conquerors. We are overcomers. Yes, so don't let the situation define who you are, but let your identity in Christ be your anchoring principle, and you will definitely be more than a conqueror.
This is a powerful reminder that through Christ we have an overwhelming victory. More than conqueror speaks to triumph, resilience, and victory in the face of adversity, in the face of challenge. The verse encourages faith in God's love and power, reminding us we are not just overcoming, but surpassing through him. Our righteousness is of him, not of ourselves. There is no doubt that thinking positive is much easier when life is not difficult. The thinking positive is much easier when life is not difficult. But it is self-defeating to think that you can't be positive in every circumstance. Be careful not to just focus on your problems, but remember to also focus on and be thankful for your blessings. It's to count your blessings, name them one by one. The same God who met you in the darkest hour when your back is against the wall is the same God that will see you through. Always remember to also focus on and be thankful for your blessings. It's very important for each of us to learn how to have the victory in our minds in the midst of our problems. The battlefield is in our mind. God's word reassures us that we are not just conquerors, but we are more than conquerors. Even during life's toughest moment, Romans 8:37. When life gets tough, I often turn to Romans 8:35 to 39 to remind myself of God's unwavering love. I try to remember that at the times I may appear as a sheep being led to slaughter, but in the midst of these things, I am more than a conqueror. To me, this simply means that we can always be assured of eventual victory. We may go through very difficult things, but following the principles of God has set for us in His Word will bring us through safely every time. It is very helpful during difficult time to remember that they won't last forever. This is what a storm in a teacup. That is what helps me keep my joy in adversity. And this morning I want you to pray this simple prayer and say, God, I know that you love me and that I am more than a conqueror. I need you in every current situation. I believe victory is coming. I will trust you all the way to the finish. Amen. If you pray this prayer with us, I invite you to be part of the Maranatha Power Ministry International located behind the Lekma Polyclinic, Nungwa Adugo, and be part of our meetings. Don't forget, Friday is a super mega all night. By the 17th to the 22nd of February, the International Leadership Conference is coming off at the premises, the auditorium of Maranatha Power Ministry, located behind Lekma Polyclinic. And they help us to come your way with our daily scripture. And that's daily scripture, I call it the daily capsules. The daily capsules. The daily capsules will help you to unveil and to know the mind of God. Now I said, as you ponder over the word, it's important to know that the Lord is with you. His rod and His will comfort you. And this morning I leave a very simple word with you. Jesus said unto him, if thou canst believe, all things are possible for him that believe. It's a simple word, isn't it?
Yeah, very simple.
He said, Jesus said unto him, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth.
Yeah.
Mark 9:23.
Yeah.
And this morning I encourage you, never complain about what you permit. Never complain about what you permit. You know, your circumstances are not permanent. You have permitted your present circumstance, or they will not exist. What you tolerate, you authorize to exist. You want me to take that again? As a what you tolerate, you authorize it to exist. Either accept the present without complaint, or make a decision to use your faith and attract miracle from God. And that takes us straight to the Proverbs Center to bring you the African Proverbs for today. Where are we traveling to today? We will be traveling to Nigeria. And they said the fingers are not equal, but they are all useful. The fingers are not what? Equal, but they are all what? Useful. And that's from Nigeria. Yeah. Now, you know, there's this saying, all the fingers are not equal.
Yeah.
But all the fingers are useful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it highlights the importance of adversity and inclusivity. Just like fingers on a hand have different length, strength, people have unique abilities and contributions. The Proverbs encourages us to appreciate precision for individual differences and recognize the value each person brings to a team. Diversity and value, each finger, despite the differences in length and strength, contributes uniquely to the hand's function. Every individual has a role. No one is redundant. Unity isn't about uniformity. It is about harnessing the varied strengths. Each person's distinct contribution. That's the up. So we learn to appreciate the uniqueness of each individual because everybody has something to offer. That is all the Proverbs to sink into our spirit this morning. The fingers are not equal, but they are all useful. That's how we put a curtain on this morning edition of African Proverbs, coming to you from the African Proverbs Center, uniquely faction out, coming to you. It's been worked on. So I think smoothly we'll get it. But whilst waiting to go into the newspaper, let's go to some of the porters this morning and see what are on the porters for the morning. It's another beautiful Thursday. Don't forget to go to Befikrum later today, where we'll bring you snaps of what they do from the Edu Heba. We'll be going to Edu Heba this morning. But let me go to some stories that are coming quickly before we touch base with the newspapers this morning. And this one, state monuments are for patriots. CPP slams talk around the renaming of the Kotoka International Airport. They've got voices suddenly.
Yeah.
The CPP have got voices and they are talking. The Convention's People's Party insists that the state monuments, streets and public institutions should be named only after individuals who are truly deemed patriotic, as Ghana prepares for a major debate over the renaming of the Kotoka International Airport. You think the CPP have got voice now?
I mean, it's a good time for them to come out and speak. Yes, sometimes certain opportunities present themselves for your voice to be heard. So it's a smart move that, you know, I expected to hear them on this one. And of course, I think what they are saying is the truth. State monuments should be named after people who have made some impact in the world. I mean, in our history, in our developmental agenda. Not that we should name things after people whose impact we can say is largely negative. And that was what I was trying to communicate yesterday, that let's assess this thing. Let's deal with it as an isolated case, not about renaming in general, but about the Kotoka International Airport, the main entry point to the country, an international airport. And who is he named after? What is his contribution to our development? Who is he known to be in history? Does he merit that? I mean, this is not about tribe. It is not about where you come from. It is about the person involved. What is his contribution to our national development? What is he known for in history? Is he known for good or bad? These are the things we should be considering. And I think that it is a good conversation to be had. I am all for the change of name. But if it is going to turn into another confusion, we should name it after this person says because it's in Accra, we should name it after a Ga person, and it's going to turn tribal, then let's keep the status quo. But if we cannot agree to change it to a particular name, then I am all for it. Because for the little I have read, I don't think Kotoka truly deserves to be named after. I mean, the airport deserves to be named after him.
All right. The former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, has thrown his weight behind the New Patriotic Party's newly elected flag bearer, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, describing him as a loyal party man with a deep love for Ghana and the appetite to lead the party back to power. The former president made the remarks in a post on Wednesday after Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, accompanied by his wife Samira Bawumia, paid a courtesy call on him following his victory in the MPP presidential primaries held on January 31st. So that's coming from the man he worked with, the driver he worked with.
Yeah.
I believe that the man has character, the man loves Ghana, the man wants to lead the MPP back to victory. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Addo showman, Addo show. Well, check with the time. It's 7:30 a.m. now. The newspapers is what is on next on our agenda is to look at the newspaper review. What are the stories there? This one's a mama to seek parliamentary approval for the sale of public lands. Parliament adopt reports to expand legal education in Ghana. Ghana's gold refinery kickstarts, but Galamsey Gold risks shutting out premium buyers. DV plates cost 417.25 Ghana cedis, not inflated rates. DVLA boss clarifies. So those of you going for your new vehicles with a DV, it's 417 cedis 25 pesos. If inflated, report the person. Secretary Circuit Court remand 13 suspected illegal miners into prison custody. Oh boy. Okay, so newspaper. Let's start with the Ghanaian Times. The Ghanaian Times has the story that 800 acres land reclaimed at the Yaman Kumasi area set to stimulate growth. Lands Minister Yaman Kumasi is where? I think the central region, right?
I doubt.
I doubt if it's around the area. But the lands minister said they did a rehabilitation initiative gears up. And that is a good thing. If you remember yesterday, the conversation I had with environmentalists, managers, we talked about conservation, which can also create a job opportunity for the young one. And now we're doing the reclamation of our lands that have been destroyed. And the land minister believed that I'm looking forward to see how many people are involved with this rehabilitation, getting the land be reclaimed back again. But that's a good news for us. Government committed to move away from import-dependent economic model, VEEP. GCCI appeals to President over delayed contractor payment. Inflation dropped to 3.8% in January. Stories on the Ghanaian Times.
From the Ghanaian Times, let's do the Chronicle. Mopping up the jungles. That's the big story. Criminals open fire. Police respond. Fight against Galamsey. Government reclaims 800 acres of mined areas at Manso, Nyankumase. I think that is in Western region.
Western region.
Yes. So these are the two stories on the front page of the Chronicle. I'm trying to see if I can. I'm not sure I can read the scripture. Right. Yeah.
Okay, let's do the archives. The archives, they get fund denies selling foreign scholarship. Voter MPs to report lazy contractors to road minister. As regional minister cautions quality work and adherence to timelines. What if NDC present an Ashanti flag bearer to face NPP? Youth remain at heart of national progress. Opari Addo. Stories on the archives.
Okay, so from the archives, let's do the Daybreak. So for the Daybreak newspaper, Mama reclaims 800 acres of Galamsey land. Brigadier General Michael Opoku bereaved. Bawumia Napo ticket sales Bawumia's consistency. That is according to some NPP grassroots. COP interdicted over transfer leak on social media. These are the stories on the front page of the Daybreak newspaper.
Away from the Daybreak newspaper, let's do the business analyst, where Gold Coast Refinery commenced refining of gold. Africa is key to new future alliance. Africa must unite to unlock continental prosperity. Professor Opoku Agyeman. Inflation falls to 3.8% in January 2026, lowest since 2021 rebase. That's the latest stories on the business analyst.
From business analyst, let's do the daily banner. MIIF's audit crisis. Signed report sparks Jubilee House intervention. External auditor terminated. Akufo-Addo backs Dr. Bawumia to lead NPP back to power. Kotoka International Airport rename. An indictment on NDC. That is according to Afenyo Markin. And the big story, 800 acres of Galamsey degraded land reclaimed at Nyankumase. These are the stories on the front page of the Daily Banner.
From the Daily Banner, we do the Daily Graphic. We also have the same stories where it's in the 800-acre Galamsey site reclaim in Ashanti. Finance Minister inspect first gold at Gold Coast Refinery. World Government Summit in Dubai. Mama calls for inclusive global alliance. African key to new world order. Stories on the Daily Graphic. And then you have Thank You Patriots with a picture of the man Brian Achampong thanking the Patriots who supported him. That's the stories on the Daily Graphic.
So from Daily Graphic, let's do the Daily Post. President John Mahama in Zambia comes with a picture of the first gentleman of the land, John Dramani Mahama, and the first lady, Lordina Mahama. Mr. Alda, I don't know if you followed social media yesterday, and in fact, even till this morning. So, our brothers and sisters in Zambia, let me say they were not too pleased with the outfits that our president wore. And I don't know if it is ignorance, but they said it looks like a blouse. You know, he was in Fugu, Batakari.
It's because they don't know.
Because they don't know. Yes, and also the right thing to do is to research, right? And if you have followed the Ghanaian president, in fact, when he addressed the UN General Assembly in September, he was in Batakari, and it was all over the place. A remarkable speech it was. So, I mean, it turned into a beef on social media, very raging beef, even till this morning, what the Maya and Co have all waged in. So you can imagine it's a serious matter. So I decided to wear Batakari this morning to offer some little education to our Zambians. Please, it is not a blouse. People said he was giving woman vibes. I mean, he dressed like a woman. And that others said he looked like a parachute. Please, it is not a blouse, right? This is called Batakari or Fugu or smock, right? It is a very popular outfit in Ghana, originating from the north, but worn across the country. And our president has been on a mission to showcase our rich culture and identity, right? So he has decided to also market, you know, the Ghanaian fabric industry.
Now, the Zambia is saying that if you go to the South African, there's a lot of import of the smokes that goes to even Uganda, Kenya. And they say they've not seen it.
They said they've not seen. I mean, when you check social media, it's all over the place. You know, they are making mockery. People said why they didn't advise him that it was a state visit. So they expected him to appear in suit and tie. I mean, let's embrace our rich culture
we
and our rich
bypass that
identity.
kind of a thing
Yeah.
in our society,
Yeah.
especially in Ghana. So Zambians, call it off.
Yeah.
I mean, just call it off.
And they don't want to engage in this beef with Ghanaians because, ask the Nigerians, Ghanaians are good at beefs. So we have friendly relations. Let's maintain that. But if you want to delve into the beef, you can imagine some of the outfits that are traditional Zambian outfits. I mean, you can't compare that to what we have.
We'll give it names.
You can't compare that to what we have.
Shouldn't start something.
Yeah, they cannot finish. Yeah, they cannot. So, Finance Minister and Gold Board CEO inspect first batch of locally refined gold at Gold Coast Refinery. And then the Galamsey fight is also on the front page, over 800 acres of land reclaimed. That is also on the front page of this particular newspaper, the Daily Post.
All right, away from the Daily Post, let's do the Overseer. The Overseer is the ISD educate public on gun amnesty in Ashanti region. South NDC bans early declaration for 2028 parliamentary primary square. Finance Minister praises Gold Coast Refinery over Gold Board partnership. 169 NDC MPs back Hajia Amina Adam for Ayawaso East MP seat. This matter. Hey, Baba Jamal, ayo. Now Toshi Ado calls for unity and unity. Africa must unite to unlock continental prosperity. Professor Opoku Ajuman. Stories on the Overseer newspaper.
From Overseer, let's do the Inquisitor. Reclamation of mined out areas. Government restores 800-acre land at Nyankomase. Ghana starts refining gold locally. Ghanaians demand State of African Games probe. Comes with a picture of the Attorney General and the former Minister for Sports. TCDA assures global buyers of cashew quality for 2026 season. Dr. Kingsley Ajman extols JB Dankwa. These are the stories on the front page of the Inquisitor newspaper.
Now, away from the Inquisitor, we do the National Enquirer, which says, what if the NDC presents an Ashanti flag bearer to face the NPP? Ghana-Korea partnership in focus as VIP courts investors. Gold Board begins refining of ASM Gold as Gold Coast Refinery operation takes off. Food inflation dropped to 3.9% in January 2026. A Jumewura program gets great management committee. Regularized or be shut down. Lands Ministry warns Sun winners. Stories on the National Enquirer.
Let's do the Business and Financial Times BNFT. GSS urges wider NHIS coverage, sanitation investment to accelerate poverty reduction. Gold Board begins local refining of ASM gold. Inflation falls to 3.8% as price pressures ease for 13th straight month. These are the stories on the BNFT front page.
Okay, so we do the Inside newspaper, which says Akim Esafo, SHS suffering. School needs old students appeal for government support. Gold Board story is here with the local refinery of the artisanal small-scale mining gold. Then, as Dr. Amin Adam speaks on reform, continuity, and also future of the MPP. What if the and then that story also pops up again. What if the NDC present an account candidate? It's also there. MPs call for corrective actions against disease burden in Ghana. That's cancer. Story on the Inside.
Okay, from the Inside, let's do the New Republic. Government targets boost adds in looming legislative fight. Oh God. Buffer Stock Agency revives. Galamsey chief eyes NPP chair. From ghost town to gold town, Mahamesh refinery revival seeks to tame Galamsey and capture value. And the big story, coup in the minority caucus. Anodompreh plots Afenyo Markins outstar as NPP. I mean, that is get the New Republic newspaper for the details. But basically saying that there's some sort of confusion, and the minority chief whip Frank Anodompreh is plotting the overthrow of the minority leader. Comes with a picture of Anodompreh himself, the minority leader Afenyo Markin, MP4 of Ofuansia Irebi, Kojo Ponkroma, and Boys Abre, MP for Equiapim North, the Honorable Same Ewuku. These are the stories on the front page of the New Republic newspaper.
Now let's do the spider. The spider says a parliament, a fast-track bill to subcharge productivity and also exports. Ghana gravels with 130 million gallons daily water shortfall, with a picture of the MD of the Ghana Water Company. Why Kotoka International Airport rename is a look at Emmanuel Kwesi Kotoka's role in Ghana's history. It's also there. So get yourself the Spider newspaper and you get details of all the stories.
So from the Spider to Ghana Politics. Ghana Politics reports the story of the Gold Coast Refinery inspection by the CEO of Gold Board and then the Finance Minister, Kesela, to forcing. The big story, Mahama begins 3-day state visit to Zambia to strengthen Ghana-Zambia ties. Comes with a picture of a handsome President John Dramani Mahama in his fugu, the one that the Zambia says looks like a blouse, and the President of Zambia in a black suit, white shirt, and a red tie. This is the story that the Ghana Politics carried this morning.
Now let's do the daily searchlight. Nkrumah's overthrow was necessary. Kotoka is a hero. Don't malign him and changing name of airport. Crunchy. Hey, and Yara Jojom. Cocoa board CEOs, Ghana's cocoa too expensive, driving buyers to other countries. Hey, Yara Jojom, Lalo. Hey, okay. A multi-vehicle collision in the Goma and Memphis, 12 critically injured. Story on the Daily Searchlight.
So from Daily Searchlight, let's do Punch Africa. Punch Africa. Musa Dankwa wants Afenyo Markin maintained. Wa Catholic Diocese Honest Speaker of Parliament. Honorable Erabna Obin, that is the MP for Ablekuma North, wants government intervention on cancer treatment. A Greek minister inspects livestock markets at Ashaiman. Tulaku. I got that right. Afenyo Markin rallies Efutu in support of Baumia's presidential bid. And then the final story, Kotoka International Airport to revert to its original name, according to Mahama Ayariga, majority leader. These are the stories on the front page of Punch Africa.
All right, so away from the Punch Africa, let's do the Daily Democrats. It has the African future lies in its people. And I strongly believe that. Ghana Water intensify fight against losses. Land Minister calls for collaborative action against illegal mining. As the Ghana begins refining its own gold, the African Free Continental Free Area must put women, youth first. Angola First Lady. Remember the Prosperity, African Prosperity Summit is ongoing. So you will hear more of this. And this morning we'll be having two big conversations. We'll be having one discussion with Christian Tete, who will be joining us at 8, 9. We'll talk to the AFIA Continental President, Sofo Hissin, also be joining us at 9 a.m. later today to have more conversation as to what they are doing for women and youth when it comes to the African Continental Free Trade Area. Those are the stories on the Daily Democrat.
Okay, let's do the daily guide. Henry Osei Akoto tips Kojo Bonsu for NDC flag bearer agenda pushes. APD 2026 develop strong finance institutions for regional projects. That's according to the Vice President. Nana backs Bawumia for after victory. Nana backs Bawumia after victory. AG closes wound to me facilitating legal mining case. Just yesterday, he announced that he was going to contest as national chairman for the New Patriotic Party, just after the AG has also announced the closure of the Wuntimi facilitation illegal mining case. Interesting stories from yesterday. Galamsey rehabilitation. Government reclaims 800 acres at Nyankomase. These are the stories on the front page of the Daily Guide.
From the Daily Guide, we do the Supreme newspaper. Supreme says Bawumia set to repeat Napo in 2028. Lobbyists ahead to back off. Winning back Ghanaians' trust is bigger battle upon Nkrumah after Bawumia's victory. Amin Adam makes the case for Bawumia as the NPP's 2028 standard bearer. NPP Council of Elders commends peaceful presidential primaries, call for party unity. Then that story that pops up again, if NDC presents an Ashanti flag bearer.
What is this about this Ashanti flag bearer?
I don't get the whole thing. Arranged Herbal Bitters trademark case, Accra High Court, the first ruling on transfer motion. Stories on the Supreme newspaper.
Okay, the final one, the Ghanaian publisher. MPs approve report to expand legal education. And soon after the LLB, you don't have to go to Makola. Some of the law faculties like Legon, like GIMPA, UPSA, KNUST, UCC will also be offering the professional legal education program to expand access. So Mr. L can enroll in law school to become a lawyer. Mr. L Samuel Esquire. Ashanti gains 800-acre reclaimed land. I doubt that is in Ashanti region.
Yeah.
Kotoka renaming faces Volta backlash. Comes with a picture of the Honorable Afenyo Osahini Markins, MP for Efutu and minority leader. Ato forcing Sami Jemfi storm Gold Coast refinery. These are the stories on the front page of the Ghanaian publisher.
Okay, so we move away from that. The newspaper, she can also show you reactions to us. You can also share your thoughts with us. 053-715-8638 is the numbers where you can share your thoughts with us. And then we can go. But don't forget, we're going to pay Fit Chrome right after this. But any of the story that really interests you, it seems like the gold board, the gold refinery thing is running through almost all the newspapers this morning.
Yeah, it's interesting. I mean, the VIP was in one of the papers saying that we are gradually moving away from import dependency.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's linked to this whole thing of trying to refine, add some value to raw materials, and then use them ourselves or for export. We will have more value than when they are exported in their raw forms. And of course, it will also create jobs. So the people who will be working in these refineries, I mean, that is employment for them. So it's good news. I'm also happy about the reclamation. You know, it's not just about ending illegal mining, but also reclaiming the degraded land so that it can be used for something better. I mean, if for nothing at all, we can plant some trees there, you know, to increase our vegetation and all of that. So I am happy about these two stories. Also of interest is President Mahamad's state visit to Zambia, which I have done. In fact, I dressed this. I didn't plan to dress this way, but after going through social media and all of that, I realized that most of us on the African continent are not even familiar with each other's culture, because I don't know if it's because they are far from West Africa.
Oh, but the point is that if you are far from West Africa, before you come and throw shield or something.
Exactly. You should read.
You should be able to go check what it stands for. You don't just come in because people are saying it, or somebody try to goof and say something about our president, and then you also take it as the main stake, then start moving with it, running.
Yeah.
I always call it that this one they are running map diarrhea.
Suppose Women's Day vibes. Can you imagine? Others say it looks like a parachute. Like, very funny comments. So our Ghanaian brothers were forced to enter. Odimaya and Co, it was a very interesting stuff. But it will interest you to know that even our first president, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, when he declared independence for Ghana, he was in Fugu.
Yeah.
When he mentioned that our independence is meaningless except it is tied with or linked to the total liberation of Africa, including Zambia, he was in Fugu. In fact, there is a university in Zambia that is named after His Excellency Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And so I am even surprised that
it's the Gen Zs who don't know the history of Africa.
I mean,
only them that will know. But I think it's a good thing. Sometimes some of this thing will have to come out for us to
learn.
Learn and then deeper.
Yeah.
One of the stories that really touched me is the gold board. It's the Ghana's gold board, which is the sole authority responsible for buying, selling, weighing, grading, assaying, valuing, and also exporting gold and other precious minerals in Ghana. And the gold board partner, we had that story that came with a partnership with a Gold Coast refinery, a state-of-the-art gold refinery in Ghana. So that alone is refreshing. And also to refine gold locally before export, adding value to what we export is a key thing. And this partnership, the aim is also to boost exports.
Yeah.
I mean, and also retain our foreign remittances. I mean, adding value, we create jobs.
Yeah.
It's not just about the refinery, but we create jobs.
Great jobs.
And also we support the Ghana industrialization
exactly.
drive, which the president is looking at doing with the 24-hour economy. So,
but let me mention this one, just related to this gold. I will not do Zambia's anybody if I only talk about the wrong things. I mean, there were also very good comments. Some were saying that their president should ask our president about what he is doing with this whole gold refining and all of that, artisanal mining, and how he's been able to transform. It means that some are actually reading about the things that our president... And so, yes, I mean, let them exchange ideas. Zambia is also doing some great stuff that our presidents can learn from. Likewise, their vice president is a good friend of Dr. Mensah Otabil. He's been coming here to preach. He's a pastor as well, vice president and pastor. So we have a very good relationship. Let's learn from each other and advance the cause of our democracy and development.
But the point is that we're looking at African free continental trade, and we are looking at the African prosperity dialogue, where we share ideas. We need to understand what we want to do, harness our strengths, and then put them together. Africa has over $1.3 trillion as a market space. It's a lot of money that if we are able to chance on, begin to use our own currencies across board based on the values and have the common market, it makes it much easier. So for me, it's good. They want to learn from the Gold Board, because the Gold Board has done a great thing with the partnership with the Gold Coast. And this is not just about boosting export earning, it creates jobs. It supports our industrialization agenda. And there's some key activities that Zambians, if they are listening, the key activities of the Gold Board is licensing. They license persons engaged in gold trading, and not just that, and also other related gold businesses.
So currently, they said the Gold Board supplies, they're able to refine 1 metric ton with the hope that they will increase to 2. And so the gold board will be supplying gold
to the
at least
Gold
1
Coast.
metric ton of gold to the Gold Coast refinery. My only prayer is that, I mean, we buy from people who are licensed, not people engaging in all manner of...
So you see, so that is why the gold board comes in with the licensing regime.
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to the assay, there's a providing a credible assayer services for gold and other precious minerals. Remember, once we have assayers to do that, and we have the equipment to do that assaying here, it makes it quite easy to trust the gold we are going to produce and to buy from the right person. So the crackdown is to deal with the galamsey, to put a stop to it.
Yeah.
And once we are refining it, we are promoting and regulating the gold refining and then the fabrication. Yeah. So if you don't have a license, you can't fabricate gold. Yeah. You can't melt gold.
Can't melt gold.
Picked on. And I think that is one of the things we are doing, and overseeing the gold exports and also generating foreign exchange for Ghana. So this is what the Gold Board is doing. So our brothers from Zambia, I believe that the partnership between Gold Board and then the Gold Coast Refinery is a game changer. Yeah. Personally, I believe it's a game changer for Ghana's gold industry, because the benefits are numerous. Yeah. I mean, you get increased revenue, where Ghana will save millions of dollars in refinery charges paid to foreign refineries, as well as keeping that money in here in the country, Ghana, in our local economy. So the money stays with us. Another thing, that benefit that comes with it has to do with the job creation. Job creation. Yeah. The refinery create direct and indirect jobs. Yeah. Opening 24/7 under Ghana's
24-hour economy agenda. Policy. Yeah.
And another thing it does is that the partnership is bringing value addition. So Ghana's export refined gold with a minimum purity is 99.6, 99.9%.
Nice one.
Yeah. Nice. Which is a good thing for us. It increases our export value. Yeah. Once it's refined, it's 99.9%. It increases our export value, and also transparency. I mean, the partnership between Gold Coast, Gold Board. Now, every Ghanaian knows that 1 ton of gold is refined
weekly
in this country. Yeah. So we can count week 1.
1 ton. But I mean, it's nice. I mean, this is good.
I mean, that's a transparency.
You know, the thought is also working now. We are refining our oil, and we have some cocoa processing industries. I mean,
we've had some private cocoa.
Yes, but those are private.
And now we're looking at. For me, that once we create an enabling environment to get a private partnership, private people coming into the federal to support what we do, it goes, because that is the engine of growth. Yeah. The private, I mean, they in terms of labor, they employ more than the public service. All government is to do is to provide service. So with this partnership, which enhances transparency in our gold supply chain, it also improves Ghana's reputation on the international market. Refined gold, silver will also be available for local jewelries and also fabricators. And when it comes to tax revenue, remember, the Ghana will gain tax revenue from these exports, from refining it here, from boosting the economic that we're trying to grow. So it's a good thing for us. It gives us that economic sovereignty. Where the partnership marks a shift towards local value addition and economic sovereignty, which enhances and puts us on the map on the international level. And for me, that is a key thing for us to start looking at. Well, any other story before we go for a break and go to Befi Chrome and come back?
This whole Ashanti flag bearer thing.
Oh.
I mean, what is this agenda?
You're looking at the NDC thing.
No, so I get the whole thing. So it's about Kojo Bonsu. Look, the NDC, it's not about where you come from.
The point is that Kojo Bonsu have that age to become a president. So he's trying to use that angle to push his agenda.
I mean, in the end, what I have observed is that it is not about where you come from. Just be on top of your game when it is your time. And there is timing. Once you miss your time in the NDC, that is it for you. Because there were some great names in the NDC that one would have thought they would become president or at least something closer. But, I mean, that didn't happen because of timing. So it is not about where you come from. Look, it can happen that the next flag bearer can even come from the northern sector. That if the delegates decide that that is what they want, there is nothing you can do about it. Let's stop this whole tribal thing. He's from the Ashanti, he's from the this one, he's from the this one. It is not going to help. At this time, you are not looking at where the person is coming from, even though the balance is necessary, but you are looking at, is the person capable, is the person competent to lead? So let's stop. If you have a candidate, push the agenda, tout their credentials, tout their competency, and stop this whole what if the flag bearer is coming from Ashanti region, what, and so what if the flag bearer is coming from Ashanti region, then had the NDC not had someone from the Akan tribe to be president before? I mean, the NDC produced an Akan president. Yes, that is a fancy, but part of the larger Akan group. They produce someone from the Volta region. They produce someone from the northern region. We don't know where the next person will come from. It may even come from the northern region. You may not know. It may come from central region. It may come from Volta region. It may come from Ashanti region or Bono. It's not about where the person is coming from. Once the delegates find you to be competent, Ghanaians accept you, that is it. Let's stop this whole... So another group will come. There was a time I heard that the Volta caucus was calling for the vice president should be picked from, to be picked from that region. What is this whole, excuse my language this morning, nonsense? Well, let's go beyond tribe and from the Volta region, and so what? From the central region, and so what? Can we not focus on the most important things, what the person is capable of doing, the person's competencies, the person's perception of democracy and good governance and all of that, what the person stands for, their corruption history. These are the things we should be paying attention to, and not that Tintina, the person must come from Volta region because the party is for Voltarians, and like the NPP is doing, Tintina, the running mate, should come from the Ashanti region. The Gen Z is not looking at where the person is coming from. Me sitting here, when I'm going to vote for somebody, I'm not looking at where the person is coming from. It has no bearing whatsoever on my where my vote goes to. I'm looking at competence. This is what we should be talking about. Stop reporting this whole what if the person is from Ashanti region, and so what? The person is from Ashanti region, and so what? The person is from Volta region, and Volta caucus. Stop that thing. Stop that thing. Have we not had a president from the Volta region? The person must come from Volta region. Can we not move beyond this whole tribal nonsense and look forward? Come on, the first president we had, the most competent president we have had, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. How many people even know his hometown? He's from some small town, small village, in Nkrofol in the western region. But look at what he did for Ghana. It is not about where you come from and all that nonsense. When I hear some of these tribal things, I get so angry. It brings about a lot of things.
Just take it easy on yourself this morning. But an Ashanti flag bearer aspirant for the National Democratic Congress could significantly impact the New Patriotic Party in the 2028.
It's not true.
The Ashanti region has traditionally been an NPP stronghold. That is what the NDC, if you look at the newspaper, that is the agenda is being pushed, thinking that, okay, since the Ashanti is a traditional stronghold of the NPP, delivering a large vote margin, an NDC Ashanti candidate could neutralize this advantage and force the NPP to defend its territory. That is what I believe the newspaper is putting there. Potential candidates being considered include Dr. Kobna Dufour, a seasoned technocrat, and also a former finance minister, Kwame Iwadakun, a corporate leader, Kojo Bonsu, a diplomat with local governance expertise. Each brings unique strength and could reshape the electoral map. The NPP has just concluded a flag bearership race. Remember, they have chosen Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia emerging as the candidate. An NDC Ashanti flag bearer could exploit regional balance concerns given Dr. Bawumia's northern origin.
If you
look at the newspaper also, the paper is looking at, okay, but that's a question that has been put in place. If the National Democratic Congress is considering an Ashanti flag bearer for 2028, the presidential election, and this will be driven by several key factors. I mean, the changing the electoral dynamics, where the Ashanti region, traditionally the stronghold of the MPP, is one of the things maybe that question is looking at. Urbanization and also migration, growing concerns about job and infrastructure and cost of living. This will come into play. Regional balance. The MPP selection of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia and Nordna has prompted the NDC to consider an Ashanti. So if you look at all the newspaper, it's bringing that agenda there. What if? What if? What if? I mean, counterbalance the MPP regional. But Ghana's electoral map, an Ashanti flag bearer could help the NDC break into the MPP stronghold. That is what the news is all about, to demonstrate its national appeal. But as to whether you want to put a card and see the competence of a person who can deliver, irrespective of the background of the person or whichever village or cottage the person is coming from, should be one of the things we should be looking at as a nation going forward, but not playing this tribal card, which for me, it will not endure to anybody's benefit.
Soon the guys will say, Sane Oke Ganyuaba, let's bring a Ga person. What if the flag bearer is from Ghana, is from Greater Accra? So we'll have the people from Western region. What if the flag bearer is an Nzima? So we'll have people from Oti. What if the flag bearer is from Oti? Let's stop this all. Look, we have... Stronghold politics is not only in Ghana. Even in the United States, there are strongholds. The Democrats have their strongholds.
That is why when you go to the U.S., especially when the vote is being done, everybody's looking at places like the Florida. Florida determined who becomes the next president in the United States. One of the key areas was one of the largest states you can think of. So if they do all the counting and then the ones they pour in the Florida, you see that figures begin to stabilize. So, but I believe that if you look at the question being put on the newspaper, it shows that the focus on the NDC's decision to fill an Ashanti is a sign, to me, is a sign of desperation.
I mean, this whole thing.
I mean, it's a sign of desperation.
There are people, there are candidates.
Because if we are highlighting that the Ashanti has a traditional, being the NDC strong, additionally, they might argue that Bawumia experience and continuity are essential for Ghana's development, making it challenging for the NDC to win with an Ashanti candidate.
There are candidates who won elections in the United States while they lost their states of residence. So, so these things, look, we don't need to pick the person from. The person must just have the competence, must be accepted by all Ghanaians. That is it, basic. When the NDC, how many votes did NDC win from the Ashanti region? Is it because the flag bearer is from there? Is it because the running mate is from there? Has the NDC not been winning Volta region? Is it because the flag bearer has always been from there? Let's stop this whole thing. Soon, if we tolerate some of these things, we'll have this regional and tribal functions springing up.
I think that that was put in the paper is for Shega reason.
Oh, it's for agenda. Yeah, they are pushing Kojo Bonsu and Dufo agenda.
It's for a Shega reason. So let's take it for that in the morning that they try to put this in there, and then to try to look at it, muddy the waters a bit and see whether it will work on your favor. It's kind of politics. Politics goes with all this bearing. You don't need to get to the edge where you get so angry with it. I mean, it's part of the game.
But when it comes to tribal and regional, we have to speak.
We have said it time and time again. I know the Ghanaian people are more awake to this. They are beginning to understand the dynamics of our politics, and they're beginning to see how our politics is being done, the kind of politics we are doing at. And we've always called the regional balance. So definitely there will be that balance. Maybe let's test the waters and see how it will.
It is possible we'll have two Nordness contesting.
It is possible. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be you can have two people from the Volta region going. There are young chaps in the NDC who are from the Volta who also want to get to them. We have people from the northern sector, young guys who have the ambition to lead the party. We have people from the Ashanti region as well, like Dufo, the Kojo Bonsu, they all want to lead the party. So maybe it's an agenda.
What I've seen in the NDC is that regardless of where you are coming from, once the party accepts you, males from the small central region, how many people are fancies in this country?
It's a party that needs
but they won't.
faction out.
Savannah for Yahin. Exactly. But Mahama has been president twice, winning over 1.7 million votes. You know, it's not about where you come from. It's about what you are made of, what your competency. That is what we are looking at. Let's stop this whole this pedestrian kind of politicking. The person must be from this region.
If the NDC is muddying, they want to test the waters. They will also have to test the strength and the weakness of whichever potential Ashanti flag bearer candidates they want to put forward. I mean, you need to check the strength and weakness of Dr. Kobnado 4. You have to check Kwame Ewadako. You need to check Kwesi Bones with their strength and weaknesses and see if they will be able to max that number of votes you want. So all this come to play. The research can tell you, okay, let's go check the bag. Let's see the popularity status of all these individuals and see where do we place them to be able to attract those votes. It's like a magnetic thing you're doing. So let's see the mindful and how it turns out to be. We're going for a break. When we return, we'll go to Befi Chrome. We'll join Edu Herbal to tell you more about Edu Herbal. And then when we come back into the studios, we have some more conversation coming up. Just stay with us. I don't know, I'm feeling this early headache from this one too.
Tony. Dr. Du Muhammad say me nkanche SM fat say nyame nhyira wo bia. Nyame nye obi bia kese. Na said de enne me ba me dofo all kan abusua. Ya di abronia to me answer Dr. Du baya wa besa. Dr. Dre yenye udeni. Edek yese nkwa sombo. Onkwa som yebo. And it's every Edu Heba Hospital. Anna era number to do so. Edebe ade. Say ye de sanya dear. E what to see any tea any numpemu. Ye nkoto dwemu near to asia me fia ye damma wa pomo dear si pierce ta. Na ye the bonus na tuato. Eno ne ye see ye the busu ye sister no to say. Watenga no ewu kojo tro nyanyane no brim no asori gina wo enenti efan say enam betena ase ye dey SM just na dey mewuram because me do get na no tanya nyame aka SM abusan fa me TV so because one come wo dey get na no do so aka me the box empty box and everything TV so but me da trade am point say wa mo akoma tom so me ntwenam ka say wi am age ne boko enenti abusan say e do bajo atrema adanse na nkasa na nam eno ntina meduru ya na SM no obi apesa onje emfiri mensem na bottom ne ba kwampo driver no ko je nam se na no Thursday me ba obi je ene dem mo bi anje ana me de aba enenti me do foot say papa no osore utaso no kan osese wato graphic am obi kenkan no masa no de gan kan ni nyina ma me ne mo kan ne brofum etimi da na betwi translation. So I say, SM bitches, a dread yabasa yade ba ama aware de amefie ayede ama enkodani aje e kunu wani aje ama yede no so ani aje enne na atemi chimwi ame man SM bitches ba kufu one onfe nkofie na miwi ade eta chire nya kasa na beta chire de ama no boko enye ni nyina ha kwa ho ene nti sa wato graphic am obi kenkan na ye ho Mr. Odi kan ye no wo ye bema entrance ma bema mu na wona no abomatwo man na wona mo a sister bra wati hu sade ni nkoyi apomude ni hosa woni oba no konhye mu a wuti mo se dodo aka to beko wantimi anko minute ade to so no kekekeke no wantimi SM bitches ye edru asa wono mu asa wo de no wo ko on say normal we na kata ko pa san na ete pa boko na SM de be akọ pa so ati e chere class for yourself our classroom no anama wi a na for ba na ka say wo be mem obana ma fans enya de obe wi no ka to say de we ye ni there bi ebusia so wi na obana ka say de ye tumi ye ni na chere say problem wo ho yade wo ho bibi wo nipadua ni mu a enko yie bibi wo osisi mu no ma enko yie o mema ye ne ensipi ensita na Dr. Du so say ensesa wotena se emma oma oba ejojo wo sa na ensesa wotena se emma be ma so obejojo oba so atiase emmechi oba branet saminto na nyojo mi na enso de nko okwa me ba so mfiri ama na beto aso eno na chese wadwuma no wa anya nwi eni ti Dr. Du say SM bitches oba nom be ma nom me pa chow wunya 18 years ya enom wo your ba wa fafura enom wo breastfeeding so a enom why CS ya freyen number no go screen ni so natural months a wanya ansana ebe mo anoma ya ma wanom oba se ubu nsa na emeye menamei se boso me so na me bu nsa na se me ama nti se bibi ni na mo menti because menti pen bia eno na chasa wo yoba enya de aboso me ne so a abusua na obi di wada ne calendar o chasa obetie mo fie buo yansa na wakọ ne boss wasa aboso me asutua meka because the da wo be ye ne fie ho ne brono ne so no obi abehu say yes oboso me aso na ye ya so when aboso me na so nyati sa wo tim onyati sa wantimi ankwaduma o wa ye so dadem wo yare ene na aboso me aso oni calendar o wada ne calendar madam emo bi fa na ne calendar wane dem boy aden bra SM bitches so say beboawo ama watimi abu nsaboko ama black cloth ni nyina anane abesia ko kama wonti etiam obi a mpota wabu nsa so we oba na abu sana bi aba kama wankasa na ma feel comfortable wutim so wankasa no ohun yo de because se free ya ho besen kwa wona wotu so we yefu mu ayodin ohun ni padua ni mu ayodin because se eye ba na ebetom a e ma o sign no se ba na ebetom e ba betom ko fra abusunya nya easy won so na ma abofron when your man says, oh, it isn't so rough, not Mensabo Nama. And no one who say, why ready so well? It's a normal science. Now, so the Nanya Banebetum, Bosumi, no Bosumi and Sa, or Messon, and my our brand so 1 year more, Ebusia, per SMB test, Tonano, who don't send in a Babesania, Abessiaco. I'm on Watto. I think soon, sir, we now menses from day 1. About 7 days. Afe twice a corner. Na so about 6 days. I saw about 5 days. 4 days. I was almost out say. The akana embaino. I war hefa. Akawa ya se wo. Enti I was on SMB test. Na enani moja. SMB test na ni moja. Ebe na ne de akawa na aya clothing na abobon tontoa. Na ebe dane fibroid. Anase ebe ye bibi aya sisi akawa wawudie nim no. Ebe na ne na afi wa ama na besiako. Na wo ho ato. Afi ona mon say yes. Odo say so boka say yes me oba. Efi ono your ba na besa wo fa nyinsan ya. SMB test na ni moja no. Ama de sisi a wo de na no akwan ni nyina besen ko wi a. Obi won say afi pa na dem na wa fa afro. Why would it not to me? Now I said, I'm hadging. Or the bathroom can also ban a had you fee. And I know maybe so the bathroom and the banana into a Santa said, you know. I told you within 2 months. That's as I said. I was here, oh, about to talk to us here. SMB test in Tia Cassani and Yaji because he had the insensible. If you say, yeah, Juma, Cassia, I dance dear Eba SMB test no dorsal. And then see, now make and farm on say, to be my way, to be my coon. Na entu ya diasi because one no one eya adwuma 15 butrim na ne na mo na mu onam ya de de wo adwuma tumi so wotumi dia adwuma ewo abonten coffee temi ya adwuma kama wosisi nim etimi ya kama clear paint ne bibia wo wosisi nim eno nkoto dwenim nyina firi wo wotie ya adwuma yi ama ho ato na akodem so a eno ya friend side effect friend side benefit because no madro ni wi ado benya na ekire no eno kwambo na do so bonus no na ya na ede obi koto dia na wa nto so a what told you? I didn't check you not pen to so. One to so I say, there be a enemy. And to socket to a bino, and only a kind of bonus on so what I say. To them SMB test, you are bonus now by dinner channel, and it's over to me a hammer. I found them also not black across the general says what I say. Or my fans say yes, or bear memo. Now a dray I was saying, I told you, a man gun and baby. Pharmacy shop be a benyabi, a bash of be a benyabi. Chemical shop will be a benyabi because SMB test and open social movement, open spiritual movement, open social media, open the trendy and don't have strong man. Me patcho shatter movement e don't American wasem no Simison American wasem no sincere mate and American wasem no senior minister and American wasem no e dra one man and one kasa man ho fans when I want to say yes what charge na anam and no empty number no that screen so me that for me say me see try me photo and I no papa be share mo so try me photo am on phone no so ayema and as about delete it your number no time teacher photo abusia number na can 0558 379545 0558 379545 and no the filler according to Dr. Edu. Second number is 0201 044221 0201 044221. Last number is 0243 989368 0243 989368. Number 3 na me dafo fra Eba Edu Heba Hospital. Na ye no edi nkomo kan how train wa boda bridge wukojo to me pacho frayin nye no nkasa na Edu free Edu Heba Hospital ana eba ayaresa bia busuan yakwadare ewa yarehwanya yaresa nyine mu ye tu stroke kwase ema obi a oyare stroke ada wache na obi a won se de Edu no na chi nyina yekro ya bo ne pampers ababa wa feru ansore no yi pampers no ne ekọ no eho asem ana meka eni se stroke no ache nipa no ache wache no fa ne brain mankasim ba fikrom eho na headquarters no ewo abusuan odo mankasim station o ko ba fikrom obecho carry fro na bra obedu wono ma abusuan be hwewo ama ode hye no ne ho ato no kama ye what ne nso emu ofe emu ode obedem say yes wo da fie wo da yare sabia nso asa wo djojo ho hotel ba bi because ya no VIP was ama normal was obewram nya fe na akọ yarefo a waba yare sabia na fe wo koja na no akosa lai amba cho ye ho ye nya sa wo wankasa o facility ne bibia ye intact o toilet and bath shem anything no bibia aye kama o change o patient ho a obi nyina wa wo hwe obi wonu ma just ye kofa enipa be time be salai won enim say de be ye change ne ho do da ne nchen o hu ne hu me patcho Edu Heba Hospital ye ntisa ya ma obi ane what o so any wo de usika ekuta won eho adwuma na ebe ya ma ho ene nti no medafo to be kafa nipa na ne ho atochema no bibi ha no fa ne brain wo edu ya ba hospital na Awurade andom ona doctor do so de nubra nua ha ban ene dua hini ne efa yade biada etu ase ene nti enya stroke kwa na yesa yade biada sente hye wa na ye wa eno de me boso because na no pani bi de ne ba bre me na me mani ba kwa nso me yam hye me utimu se asma na wa ne ho ache but Awurade adom odu Heba hospital last week utimu se ye stabilize ni we na bibia e kama edo no anopa me sure ya na me sempacho mo te say osanyame adom efri na no e ba ne Thursday no ma bim eyesa na afi me ho atom na me ho ayem de won say wo ye adwuma wie na hu emfaso hu sade na ekona koyesa na ho aye wo de enya de wa ya wie na afi wo wi na yam hyehyɛ sade me e be fa na emfa edrebe ya na enye yi enye try and error ewo edu Heba hospital ebusuafo ye ma wodro na ye de ensese ye boka se dro na de ma ya de ye ewo osu eso adro ni na wotwe asebetu na wotwe menu asebetu na wotwe miansa asebetu ampanso no ebedu wono na wanto wasori a okwo wuyi achia kwa ochia osimi ma chia na wokọ ba bi enne ne ya de bia etete wo emmema na mokọ dwaba mumu na nkwada hwere agire mumu na ya tisi so ewo mumu mepa mancho edu Heba hospital edro papa ho no ma oba ebeba ama ho acho mepa acho wo enya yaresa bia oba ya ma odo na enne kochina kobra ansa na waye o ya machine sakase egu no mabusuan oba yade be exam efru trimesu nase ni on say yade na efri ya na eba ya ha ene ha eje do we ni yade be ma na ewia emu
on our social media handles, the Facebook, YouTube, X, TikTok, on MBN 360. You can also go to our webpage, MBN 360, get more conversations coming up for you. Parliament has adopted a report to expand legal education in Ghana. Parliament adopted a report of the Constitutional and Legal Affairs Committee on expanding education, legal education, and promoting awareness and training for legal professionals in the country. Dominic Ayine, the Minister of Justice and Attorney General, laid the Legal Education Reform Bill before the House on October 24, 2025. Presenting exemplary memoranda and also motions at the plenary, Mr. Ayine said the legislation seeks to enhance access to legal education and break the monopoly of the Ghana School of Law as a sole institution mandated to train lawyers. Contributing to the debate before the adoption of the committee's report, Mr. Ayariga, the majority leader and a member of parliament for Boko Central, explains the bill would provide establishment of a National Council of Legal Education. So that monopoly is being sought to be broken so that it will allow other players onto the field of legal education to help expand the legal education. But there are various aspects of legal education that people want to learn. It's not everybody, for sheer reasons, go to the law and goes to the bar and want to practice. There are a lot of lawyers who are not practicing.
Exactly.
Just using it for just personal and other gains. So,
yeah. I mean, to enrich your understanding
of the laws,
of the law,
and how to be able to charge on.
Yeah, just in case. Yeah, I mean, legal education is very, very important. Like someone told me recently. I mean, reiterated, ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Yes, so law is something we all must know. At least some basic constitutional law, basic law in business, contract law, basic stuff, so that, I mean, business persons can have right deals, not regretting later. So it is very important that, in fact, even for people who want to become lawyers, the argument that we are producing a lot of lawyers the
numbers are not still enough.
Yes.
In the sense that we don't have, and if you look at the population and the number of legal brains we have, it's like 1 to 100. Which is still not up.
So the data says that currently, as it stands, the lawyer to citizen ratio is approximately 1 to 5,000. Yeah. So one lawyer, 5,000 citizens. That is too much, right? And the ideal, the recommended ratio is 1 to 250. So you can say that we have a long way to go. The standard, yes. Right. So we still need more lawyers to be trained. We still need more people with legal education. And so it is good. I mean, one of the reasons is the facility that Makola is not that large to admit so many people. So there is a cutoff point, which is what is limiting or preventing a lot of people. Even personally, I know a lot of guys, I know a lot of mates who have LLBs, but have not been able to get to Makola, not because they are that bad, but, just to admit a few that there will be space for. So it is good that I still don't understand why Legon cannot provide professional legal education. It has to take Makola, right? We have Legon, we have KNUST, we have University of Cape Coast, even GIMPA and UPSA. These are faculties, law faculties that can, with some little touches, can provide the professional legal education that Makola is currently providing, so that will increase the access, So it is a good thing. It is good that the MPs have embraced it. We hope that we would improve this current ratio of 1 to 5,000 lawyers, and we'll be able to produce as many lawyers as possible. I'm excited to see a lot of people taking interest in legal education. I hope that it is genuine interest and not a means to become rich, because I also know some lawyers actually the thing no they go well. In fact, we call law complex pa who lawyer be ni gown pa say gown na che who lawyer be ni shoe sabi. Look, let's not deceive ourselves. Be moved with genuine interest. Have a plan. If it is just a means to escape poverty, you may be disappointed. You may be. Do your own research very well because legal education is expensive. Let's not deceive ourselves.
Legal education is very expensive.
Yeah.
053-715-8638 is the numbers. Other story also is that the President, John Dramani Mahama, says that we inherited a sick country, governance in tatters. The President has disclosed that upon assuming office, he was confronted with a deeply troubled nation, characterized by a fragile economy and a governance system on the brinks of collapse. According to the President, the state of the country at the time of swearing in on January 7, 2025, demanded urgent and comprehensive intervention to prevent further deterioration. This is coming from the President, John Dramani Mahama. The President made these remarks during his official 3-day state visit to Zambia, where he met with the members of the Ghanaian community living in the country. Addressing the gathering, the President reflected on the circumstances under which his administration took over the reins of government and outlined the scale of challenges his government inherited. He explained that Ghana was grappling with severe economic difficulties alongside widespread problems across key sectors such as health, education, and agriculture. The President also noted that the situation was further compounded by the country's debt distress, which has significantly eroded investor confidence and limited Ghana's access to the international and financial markets. The President stated this harsh reality slapped the message and the mission of his campaign during the 2024 general election. I mean, at the point, the President gave so many meaning to the names he called the economy. So he made his remarks in Zambia when he was talking to the Ghanaian community in Zambia. Well, interesting times await us. Ghana reached a landmark visa waiver agreement with the Zambia. So meaning that if you're traveling to Zambia now, you don't need a visa. So the President's statement suggests that the NDC is setting the stage. If you look at the message in Zambia, it means that the NDC is setting a stage for their 2028 campaign, emphasizing the challenges Ghana faced when they were coming in 2024 and when they took office as well. So his comment, highlight the difficulties of governing Ghana contrast to the current situation with his tenure. So it tells you where we were and where we have gotten to. The President's statement to the Ghanaian people in Zambia. Wow, interesting. Interestingly, the President is talking. So another story that has also become one of the stories that is churning out has to do with inflation dropped at 3.8, but borrowing still costly. Professor Pokin questions the rate rigidity. Despite Ghana's inflation slowdown to 3.8%, businesses and households are yet to feel the meaningful relief from high borrowing costs, a gap the economist professor says is becoming increasingly difficult to justify. He noted that while the Bank of Ghana cut the policy rate by 250 basis points to 15.5%, the speed between inflation and then the key interest rate remains usually wild, very, very wild margin there. And he's asking that the reality is not really showing in the pockets of the Ghanaian. It's not showing. And Tasumunza, Sana Prof. Eka. And I also want to say, Ekoye, Ekoye, my Enkoye, so my ending come, ye shed Nyama Akoso. Meanwhile, the president has also credited the energy team for the historic turnaround. The president attributed the recent success of his administration to the dedication, energy, and commitment of his team of ministers and governing officials. He made this remark whilst engaging the Ghanaian community. So that's one. We brought you that. What he said is that I couldn't have done this alone. I have a team of young, ambitious, hardworking ministers, government officials supporting me. And they brought into the vision, I have, and we are working together as a team. And that has made the difference. Well, that's a laudable statement. He said, I called him 2 a.m. and my finance minister, if I couldn't reach him, I could have moved and lived at his house because of the number of times I summoned him. That's our tone now. Looking at what the president is saying, 2 a.m. Yeah. The president stressed that the collaborative spirit within his administration has been a crucial executing the ambitious reset agenda that was central to his electoral campaign. We inherited an economy that needed urgent restructuring. The only way to address it was to have a focused, hard-working team that shares the same vision for Ghana. Interestingly, in the leveraging on the expertise of his team players, and I think the engagement with the Ghanaian provided the president an opportunity to showcase not only the accomplishment of his government, but also the collaborative efforts that underpins its operation. By highlighting energy and dedication of ministers and officials, the president sought to reinforce public confidence in administration capacity to execute its ambition agenda effectively. That is President Mahama. Sparing. Then he said no impunity for abuse of public office. Now he said the CSOs.
Yeah, I think he set an April deadline for their report.
Okay, fair mistake. O report Onashika Obayashian. That is a question, that's a big question that the president has thrown out there into the ferry for us all to start looking at ourselves in the mirror. What are you delivering as Minister of State in the office of the presidency? Is just because it's a fanfare? No. The president says no. No. Dabi. Or see Debbie. That is what the president is saying. So those are some of the stories from Zambia when the president met the ministers trying to look at the 2026, the Gold Board Initiative, a $10 billion initiative, $10 billion, right? The aim is to process and enhance the value of gold, natural resources, including gold, manganese, bauxite, lithium, petroleum, and as well as a key agriculture product. So the big push infrastructure is also a $10 billion US program, which is focused on expanding infrastructure, including roads, bridges, energy projects to stimulate the economic growth and also improve national connectivity. Agriculture Transformation Program, a program aimed at modernizing agriculture, providing productivity and increasing access to market with focus on mechanization, irrigation, and value addition. 24-hour economy, an initiative that is aimed at promoting economic activity around the clock with a focus on creating jobs, improving infrastructure, and also increasing economic growth. Don't forget the rural electrification, electricity acceleration and urban intensification initiative. Farmer Service Center, the Oil Palm Development Finance Window, a $500 million US initiative aimed at supporting development of oil palm industry. The focus on improving productivity and also increasing exports. So these are some from government programs, government agenda, delivering the kind of Ghana we want to see. Ghana want to see the performance of the country in 2026, physical discipline, debt management. These are the potential areas the government has been looking at. Economic growth, job creation, target of 4.8 economic growth in 2026, creation of over 800,000 jobs, and whether these goals are achievable. But these are the ambitious certain government has taxed itself. That you want to see the growth to be 4.8 and also create about 800,000 jobs. The question is it achievable? Government is looking at being physically disciplined and also debt management. That's one of the key things government is doing. When it comes to social protection and also poverty reduction, you know the LEAP is there. The NHIS is there. The school feeding is also ongoing. The impact on the poverty reduction. But how do we get our people out of the poverty? The mindset has always been there. How do we reset the mindset? Let people understand what finances is all about. And the income. Because if you look at the whole country, there's about 5% of the entire country I love saving.
Yeah, not. So it's about whether the person is able to even meet the basic needs before they can think of saving. A lot of people are poor. A lot of people are poor, even though we got a report that almost about was it 1 million people were coming out of poverty.
Wow.
You know, but we still have a lot of people who are very poor, who are unable to meet basic needs, who are unable to provide 3 meals a day. Right, so for such people, we don't preach service to them now. It's about how to even meet their basic needs, hand to mouth, you know. And that is why we must be taking some of these initiatives very seriously, like the apprenticeship programs, like the coding programs, you know, like free education for persons with disability. Let's just push people, you know, to learn some of these things, so that once they have something on their own, they can also make some income, and they will grow from there. Yes. So for me, it's more about having the skills, having knowledge, you know, having something. Just have something that you can also do to generate income. Otherwise, I mean, we cannot do much about savings. But once we are able to get people to be able to provide their needs, then we can now be talking about saving. I know some will argue that no matter how much you earn, you should be able to save something. Actually, there are people that, look, like there are people who earn 500 Ghana cedis. Yeah. People earn 450 cedis, 600 cedis. Less than that. Or be it transportation, a film, or better prepaid. Look, people are just surviving on grace. I mean,
it's a survival of the fittest.
Yeah.
I mean, if we want to address poverty in Ghana, I mean, it requires a multifaceted approach. A multifaceted approach. I mean, the economic growth, we need to promote sectors like the agriculture, manufacturing, service to create jobs. These are the things we need to be doing as a nation. We need to improve access to quality education and vocational training. We shouldn't make it look like we for vocational training.
Bohobium.
You understand? That has been our pain. We feel that people who couldn't do well on the ladder are the people who goes to learn the basic mechanics and go to the vocational training school. It is not like that.
It is never
true.
Yeah.
There are people who are born naturally, wouldn't want even to go to school, but they want to go learn skills. What about that? I know of a young chap. I met him, a young boy. He's I think 10 years. But he keeps telling me he loves to do fitting. He wants to be an auto mechanic.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, so blend the school, and then
just acquire basic literacy.
Then you go learn it.
Yeah.
And he led me to the father, and I said, look, this is your boy's desire.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to stop him?
Yeah.
Let's get a fitting shop. Let a boy go for the training on a weekend. Weekdays he goes to school.
Yeah.
When he closes and it's early, he can go there for an hour or two, acquaint himself, come back.
Yeah.
Gradually, he will see the need to better his education, flourish it with what he's learning, and bingo. This guy become a big thing for you. So don't kill that desire, that ambition that he wants to be an auto mechanics. And he's learning from that age 10. So by the time he gets to the SHS, he can start doing things for himself, get to the university. Now he acquire a lot of knowledge and wisdom how to apply and finish it. But we are killing the desires. We are imposing on our kids what we couldn't do. We want them to be.
What do we see? So it's about what we celebrate as a people. We are always celebrating people who can chew and pour, who can memorize. But we don't celebrate.
We got people
craftsmanship.
Who live the university and even can't think of being creative with it. You know, I keep saying that, look, pulled 5-3 people, okay? It's something I did for a model I did in the North. So the guy came to me. I have an IT background. And I said, what can you do? He said, I can do ABCD. I said, okay, go look for somebody who can also do the EFG. Then look for somebody who can do like that. So he brought 5 other people. Okay, put them in a room. I said, brainstorm and come up with what you want to do. They came out. Maintaining a back office thing. So we developed a model. As I follow the plan. We may not have the money now. So I led myself to go into office to office, drop letters. If you want this service, call us. It's one of the finest IT company you can think of in the North. And these are young people. Put them together. We can do similar things for people. Put them together. Bring their know-how. It's not always government who have to employ. They need to create employment themselves. Well, government doesn't have the space.
There's the space.
If you look at the number of people that go to the private sector, compared to what government, government is not employing enough.
Government cannot employ enough.
Everybody.
So government creates the environment
for the private sector to
thrive,
in,
and then
they can also employ. I see this know-how and attention that people takes into the private sector. There are a lot of people I've spoken to, and I ask them, why don't you continue with your industry? So the people come with a mindset. I've gotten a job, I have to be rich. So they steal. They start stealing from me. And that is also another problem we have with our society that we need to do. We are not being transparent. Of the integrity aspect of our young people, we are losing it. We need to begin to build credible people with discipline, with integrity, with that humility, to be able to work on the job market. But a lot of enterprises are shutting down because the people they employ get in there, all they think is to go make themselves rich. Forgetting about that, the person invested so much. You don't go there and go and say, but rather go help to create the wealth so it could be shared. They don't have that time. They want to be rich in a moment. And that is the biggest problem we have as a nation. We need to be able to deal with it. And we want to get our people out of poverty. Like I said, the economic growth stimulation, we have to look at the service, the manufacturing aspect, we have to look at the education. Look, and yet Tiwino co-vocational.
Mr. L, I get frustrated when I look at the number of people who are studying these liberal programs in the universities. And look, thousands of people graduate with psychology degree, sociology, archaeology, political science. How many people will further to become psychologists? How many? I read psychology from the University of Ghana. You know, I think we were more than 1,000 people who graduated with degrees in psychology in 2008. And I don't think about 10% of that number went on to become psychologists. Just a few, right? So the rest of us, Mr. I'm saying that I have mates who will come here and say, Charlie, because that is 2018. So more than 7 years, almost 8 years after graduating from school. So for me, look, go to Legon, go to the lecture halls, go to political science lecture hall, go to sociology lecture hall, go to history lecture hall. The number of people who are in this lecture hall who will be graduating with these degrees, when they come out, what is the plan for them? You know, we don't have plan for them. But that is what we celebrate. We celebrate people who can chew and pour. That is what our media gives attention to. We don't give attention to craftsmanship. we think that, like you were saying, we phone omukoye.
No,
But today, they are making the money.
That is the thing we've created.
And it is our mindset. It is our mindset. In fact, even parents, which of your children do you celebrate? You celebrate the one who will get 99% in social studies. And then the one who is good, who is good with craftsmanship. I'm not saying the liberals are bad, but how many jobs can the liberal programs,
We need to match the liberal with skill.
With skill, but we are not giving attention to that. Obia person or call Lego, call psychology. So please forgive me for mentioning these programs. But that is the best example I can cite. How many people graduate with sociology?
Even doing music, we don't have national theaters across the country.
You see,
so
but we are not giving. In fact, even the polytechnics, we've turned them to liberal programs, offering institutions.
Banking
and stuff. Like we are not giving attention to the fashion design. See, fashion for no years, the hairdressers, they are cashing out.
One thing I found out when I go to Dubois, I realized that there are no people like tailors, there are no people like dressmakers. Everybody you will see has some small cabinet in there, design clothes and put it in there.
Yeah.
So they are telling you we live in an era where everybody is fashionistic.
Yeah. Tailor ni hobby. Designer.
Designer.
Yeah.
And see,
hairstylist.
Nail technician.
Nail technicians.
I said, whoa, what
these are things we should push young people who are interested, encourage young people to go. Look, if you're a parent, don't only prioritize the child who can memorize. No skills, no. Give those ones attention, encourage them, tell them you are doing well. You have something that a lot of, like Mr. L, I sat here and told you that I wish I had those skills. But naturally, me kase me bo a kura hammer on a nail.
They don't call they don't call a metal shop.
Oh, me so
because I can melt the metal, the bellow. This thing we use is called the bellow, where you put the metal in the casket and put the charcoal on it and blow it, and then it becomes red, and you can hammer and chisel it. I can I do my own story.
Let me tell you something. When I was in school, my off days, there was a welder around my area. So me call. That means I was only interested in the daily kakrano bema me didn't know. So hold the metal for me. I was not interested in learning because it's not part of me. It will be difficult for me to learn. I spent about 4 years, 5 years with that welder, and I still don't know anything about welding. We celebrate the liberal, memorizing. How many? There are a lot of people, Mr. L, conduct research. The people who call themselves unemployed graduates, unemployed. Most of them are people who graduated with liberal education.
All right, most of them.
You hardly find people who did carpentry, masonry, fashion design, and those things who are unemployed. Because no matter what, they will do something with their hands.
No matter what, they will do something with it. I think it's all about the nation's priorities and the areas we want to grow our economy. It's something we need to channel service as well as channel our energies there. Service, agriculture, manufacturing, and service to create a lot of job, getting our people out of poverty, agriculture development. We need to support the small holder farmers, support them with resources and technology. Because now you can even tell you the weather, AI, and before AI, there are other tools you can use that tell you today there'll be rain in where your farm is, or there wouldn't be rain. You'll be able to tell the weather and its update. So support the smallholder farmers with resources and technology. The social protection, we are doing it. Implement effectively, targeting the vulnerable groups, but it shouldn't end there. It's not about giving them the money, but giving them some know-how as well, something that can help them to do something for themselves. It can't be necessarily every day we need to give them money. I always said government should move from giving money to guarantees. And say people, okay, 5, 10 people, there are a lot of things government is doing, but how many people understand that I have to go to this side, the Gulf, and get to know ABCD? What are some of the models there that I can also chance upon to make some ends meet? We should be able to open it up to the public. Everybody should know that I can go to here, I can find ABCD, I can do this, I can get the support. And once we begin to do that, we can get our people out of poverty. We can't say we can eradicate it.
But at least
We can minimize it.
Yeah.
But when we have a healthy country where everybody have something to do, it helps the country to strive. Government can take its tasks to redevelop the country, encourage entrepreneurship, and then the SME development, very importantly, for the private sector growth, and also good governance, transparency, accountability, and effective resource management will give us a good... We're going for a quick break. Just stay with us. We're bringing a conversation right now in the next 2 minutes. We're going to have a conversation right away. So stay with us. Can't sit down. I think I can't sit. All right, so welcome back from the quick break. You're still live on the MBN TV. It's a morning focus, the national policy focus. And we did mention that we're going to have conversations coming up this morning. And the first conversation is with the man who is a continental president, the African Free Continental Free Area, the Young Enterprise Federation, AFIA. In the person, he's a brother, he's a friend, he's St. So for good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
It's been how many years now?
It's been a while, but good to see you.
It's good to see you too. I mean, it's an era. We're looking at unlocking the African potential, empowering the SMEs, the women and the youth in the single market of Africa. We know there's this African prosperity dialogue, which is also ongoing at Accra International Conference Center. It's been bringing all the Africans together to think of a single market where the African Continental Free Trade Area is a game changer for Africa, aiming to create a single market for goods and services across the continent, the largest trade area which brings together about 55 African Union countries covering about 1.3 billion people and a combined GDP of $3.4 trillion, where the tariffs aims is to reduce tariffs on 90% of goods and services, making trade cheaper and more competitive on the African continent, as well as expected to boost the intra-African trade by 52% by 2035, lifting 30 million people out of extreme poverty. We can't eradicate it, but at least we can get our people out of that poverty line and also create jobs, promote industrialization, as well as increase African global competitiveness. Is why the center, and Ghana is the host of the center officially, which was launched in 2021, with countries gradually implementing tariffs, reduction and trade facilitation. Now, your outfit, which is a young entrepreneurs, a wing of the center. What more can you tell us about your outfit?
Okay, so good morning to your viewers and your listeners, and thanks for having me. The AFCFTA is African Continental Free Trade Area that is supposed to integrate Africa. It's a flagship project of the African Union Agenda 2063. So Africa is the most youthful continent we have in the world, with over 400 million youth across Africa. And if you talk about economic empowerment, integration, we cannot do that without the youth. So we saw that in order to shoot, we have a proverb in Africa that we say, in order to stop the elephant from committing havoc, you don't shout at the elephant. It will not mind you. You have to shoot at the elephant. I look at the African governments, the AU, and multilateral institutions as an elephant. So if we, the youth, want them to do something that will benefit the youth, we cannot just shout at them. That means we cannot do it individually. We have to come together.
Our culture even doesn't prevent the young person from telling the elderly is wrong stuff. Like
they say you don't respect, you know. So we believe that we need to come together. There's a saying that there's strength in unity. So once we come together, we can be able to form a formidable force that will ensure that the youth is included in the continental trade. So when they started, they actually didn't even come out with protocols for women and youth. It was among the last thing that they brought up. But we also saw that we needed to bring together youth organizations, individuals, to form an association which we term as the AFCFTA Young Entrepreneurs Federation, in order to work closely with the AFCFTA Secretariat that has been set up by the African Union to ensure that youth issues are addressed at the continental level. I always say that we, the youth of Africa, we've been waiting to be invited to the table. Now they will finish eating, but they will not even invite us. So we made our
the crumbs.
So now, what we're going to do is that we are going to go into the room uninvited. We are going with our own chair. So we are no longer going to wait. We want to be partakers in decisions that affect the youth. We want to be inside the boardrooms where policies are drafted, things that are affecting the youth are done.
The youth and the women.
And the women as well, because we normally go together. So they chose Her Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan, the President of Tanzania, to be the ambassador for women and youth. And were invited to Tanzania to deliberate on the protocols for women and youth. And now, fortunately, we have protocols for women and youth. So our association is bringing together young entrepreneurs across all of Africa, association youth groups, to come together under one umbrella and to speak with one voice and ensure that the youth is included in the African Continental Free Trade Area.
Quite interesting, and the focus on this African Prosperity and Dialogue, which is ongoing at the Accra International Conference Center, which has pieced together all the heads from Africa. We have our own Vice President, Nana Opoku-Agyeman, there speak. She spoke yesterday, brilliantly saying that how do we connect it together, where the women and youth in the single market era, the focus on leveraging on the African Continental Free Trade Area is to boost African development, and the key aspects which include empowering the SMEs, which enables small and medium enterprises to strive to access single regional market finance and technology. What is your outfit looking at doing to ensure that you pave way? You did mention the Zambia president who handles the youth and the women wing. How is your outfit working with this centers to make sure that the young entrepreneur, the women entrepreneurs' voices are heard?
Okay, so what we're doing is that, first of all, we're working with the AFCFTA, the African Continental Free Trade Area Secretariat, working closely with the Secretary General, His Excellency Wamkele Mene, to ensure that youth and women are included. That's the first thing that we are doing, because they are the secretary that has been mandated to ensure that AFCFTA works. And he appreciates the fact that the youth and women are very critical, because if you think about the informal cross-border trade across Africa, it's been led by women, our mothers, our sisters. They are going to different
there's
countries.
One person, I'm not catching, but there's one person, the trade and industry minister in Ghana. For me, she's doing excellent. If you can see from last week, she's everywhere, trying to see how we can connect that and harness the talent of our young and the women to be able to push the agenda of the 24-hour economy, and being able to attract that $10 million from AFDB into the economy for feasibility studies to see how we can project some of this thing. I think that when the women and the youth are given opportunity, we'll be able to strike.
Oh, sure. We have always been asking for opportunity. We are not asking for money. Because when we get the opportunity, we can make any amount of money that we want. But then, opportunity, just like freedom, doesn't come free. Freedom is not free. It comes at a cost. And then, what's the cost of freedom? That is why we are saying that the youth, and you asked me an earlier question that what are we doing to work with various organizations to ensure that
the voices of the youth
and women are
being heard.
So we are trying to work with the regional economic blocks. Okay. We're trying to work with multilateral and bilateral institutions. We are trying to work with the elephants. You get it? Those that make the decisions.
You don't need to shoot the elephants. Yeah. You need to dialogue.
So we want to talk with them, include them. So fortunately, the African Development Bank, we've been engaging them, which is the biggest bank in Africa. Fortunately, last year, they gave us the platform to host a youth and women session at the annual meetings at their headquarters in Abidjan. And it was a very big platform for us to unearth some of our views and to ensure that they are being heard and adhered to. Fortunately, the new president of African Development Bank, Dr. Sidita, he has 4 cardinal principles that he wants to achieve. One of the cardinal principles has to do with women and youth, how to ensure that we harness the youth and women dividends so that it doesn't become a burden on the continent, but rather the continent will benefit out of it. So he is very serious about it, though he just took office. We've had a lot of discussion with his predecessor, Dr. Adesina, And then he also handed over to him, and then we are even here to sit down with him to discuss further on the issues that most of the women and youth in Africa are facing. And as the biggest financier, we actually need them. We've also had discussion with the AFCFTA Secretariat as well. We signed an MOU with the African Export and Import Bank, which is also mandated. It was set up from the African Development Bank to ensure that these people focus on trade issues to promote intra-African trade. And we have signed an MOU with them. We want to onboard a lot of SMEs onto their Africa Trade Gateway platform to ensure that they get access to a lot of opportunities, including funding, network opportunities, access to market, and a host of other benefits. So last year too, we worked with the ECOWAS when they were celebrating their 50th anniversary. We co-organized a human capacity development program with them here in Ghana, where we brought together a lot of youth and women from all the ECOWAS countries, except the Sahelian, and then most of them were trained as well. So I'm just giving some of the recent works that we've done, because we need to work with them. And the new Ministry for Youth Development and Empowerment, we've been in touch with them, and we are saying that youth issues are very serious issues, and we're not going to leave it for all the trade ministry, because trade ministry sometimes they have a host of other things that they are doing. But we believe that we want to work with you, and then the youth minister has been very helpful to as well in that regard. So yes, of course, we have to work with all this. And also talking about talking to the youth themselves, because sometimes we are our own enemies. So let's come together with one voice. And some of them don't even know what is going on. So awareness creation is a problem. Some of them don't believe in their governments anymore. And then some of them have already lost hope. And it's high time we attend to youth issues, because they are very critical. Until we now start seeing coup d'etats here and there, some of the youth are being recruited to join most of these terrorist organizations. And then we have a lot of security issues due to youth unemployment, which is very critical.
We believe that unemployment of the youth is a time bomb, which when it explodes, we don't want to see those Arab Springs and stuff happening in our country. So the earlier we curtail it, the better it will be, pushing them to be entrepreneur. But looking at the African Free Continental Trade Area, how can women and youth entrepreneurs from your outfit access the center for opportunities?
So basically, this is what we do.
Okay.
We work with those that makes the decision.
Okay.
And then we also work with the youth.
Okay.
So we mobilize them together and fish out for opportunities and link them.
So for what are some of the opportunities that has come out? Have you been able to link the youth to?
Oh, certainly. Training program. I always say that information is the new gold. What you don't know, you cannot take advantage of. So we have been able to connect about youth from about 30 African countries to be aware of the opportunities of the AFCFTA that exists in AFCFTA. And you see, AFCFTA has not yet taken it full scale. It's starting. But we need to be aware first of the opportunities. So yes, we've been to South Africa, Zambia, Nigeria, Gambia, a host of other African countries. We've been talking about the need.
So AFIA is operating about
in 30. We have members in about 30 African countries.
Out of the 54 African
Out of the 54 African countries, we have members in about 30 African countries. And then we are creating awareness of the AFCFTA. That's the first thing that we are doing. The second thing that we are doing is that we're also working with the Secretariat to ensure that the voices, the challenges that are faced by young African entrepreneurs are heard. That is what we term like working on the protocols for women and youth. Because if you don't talk about policy, they need to recognize the important role that women and youth play in the economy and in the actualization of the African Continental Free Trade Area. So also working with them at that particular level. Working with Trademark Africa, which is setting up youth and women agenda. They have a 10-year agenda for youth and women. We're working with them. ECOWAS, we're working with some of the team to ensure that they streamline some of their policies to benefit women and youth in the ECOWAS regions. So yes, once you are a member of AFIEF, yes, you get timely information about what is happening in the AFCFTA. You have access to training programs that will help your businesses to grow. You have access to a host of networks with other youth and other institutions that can benefit, because now we're talking about collaboration, not competition. Even the AFCFTA need to collaborate with each other. And every country has a core competence. And we need to focus on our core competencies and collaborate with each other. So young entrepreneurs joining us, even access to funding, because from time to time we have investors, we have funding here, or bring 10 young entrepreneurs who need funding between this amount to that amount. Then yes, we connect them to those kind of opportunities.
Quite interesting. Now we're looking at how to unlock the African potential, empowering SMEs, women, and also the youth in the single market era, where SME strategies, practical steps for SMEs to leverage on African free continental trade area for growth and ways to support women and youth entrepreneurs in this era. So you've given us some few examples. What are the current? And I know you'll be on the African Prosperity Dialogue Network. You're speaking today.
Yes, please.
What are you looking at talking to the African, the young entrepreneurs and then the women?
So they want us to, we're going to look at how women and youth can own the process of the African continental free trade area. That's what they want us to look at. And then we're also looking at a borderless Africa. We've been talking that the colonial masters actually divided Africa among themselves and shared it among themselves. Now they are gone. Why is it that we don't remove the artificial borders that were set up by our colonial masters? And that is what we're talking about. We were in Bahamas about 2 years ago at a program organized by the Afro-Exim Bank.
Yeah.
And Dangote was saying that he has one of his business partners who come to Africa for them to do business. The gentleman holds a French passport, and he can travel to more African countries than him. So there are some countries, when they are going together, he has to get a visa before he can go to any African countries. Meanwhile, he is the investor who is going to put his money. But someone who is not an African can have access easily to more African countries. And he was saying that it doesn't even make sense that we keep talking about integration, keep talking about Africa, we are one people, we should unite. If you go to Europe, more than 26 countries, you'll move without visa.
Yeah, with one single, even one single entry, you can move to all the other European countries. But you come to Africa, just yesterday, and the president is in Zambia.
Yeah.
Now we have to have that connection with Zambia, that you can float into Zambia visa-free. You can go to Kenya, Uganda. But South Africa has also removed that barrier. We want to see how African, especially from the north to the south, east, central Africa to the West Africa, be able to remove this barrier that if I have my Ghanaian passport, I should be able to travel to any of these countries without going for a visa.
Exactly. So that's what we're going to look at. And once we move, we are moving out, we're going to get opportunities. Because if you are a talented Ghanaian who wants to work in South Africa, you should be able to move freely there, to go and settle there, and to be able to work. But we can't keep ourselves in this cave. So we want to break all the artificial borders that are in Africa, because AU agenda is talking about highly integrated Africa. How do we integrate? So sometimes I always look at the way our leaders think, right? When the AFCFTA bill was tabled, almost all the presidents signed it in Rwanda, that they're interested in trade. When the protocols for free movement was tabled, only 4 countries signed. How can you do trade?
And everybody signed to it. And when it's movement,
only 4 countries
signed to it.
So you don't
understand. That we're not ready. We're not ready as African people.
We are not ready, is it? So that is where we are now. So if I don't move, how do I trade? Because people have to move with their goods and services. Goods cannot move. So if I ship my goods to South Africa and I cannot get, or Morocco, and I can't get Moroccan visa. How do I go there to trade? So that's what we are talking about. So we are pushing for a borderless Africa. And then we believe that once the borders are opened, as well, they want us to talk about how the youth and women can own the AFCFTA, but not just only the AFCFTA, how to industrialize youth and women businesses. And in talking about industrialization, it comes with capital. So I will go back to the discussion that we are having with the African Development Bank, the discussion we're having with African Export and Import Bank, because Afrexim Bank will give out a loan and they can say that we only want somebody who needs a 5 million loan or 10 million or 30 million. How many youth and women who are doing business needs up to 5 million loan? Some of them just $5,000, some of them $10,000. So we are asking them, those that have the money, Africa has capital, there's capital in Africa here, but the problem is how to access the capital for women and youth businesses. Without capital, businesses cannot grow. And we are talking about the continental market. So I have a sister in Tamale who is doing shea butter. Now, she cannot even get enough funds to expand her business, even supply her clients within Tamale and Accra. You are telling her to export her shea butter to South Africa. It's so unrealistic. So at our level, at AFIF, what we want to do within our purview is that we want to aggregate, we want to bring together businesses to form value chain. That is what we can do at our level. But when we talk about industrialization for SMEs, for small medium enterprises, among the youth, we need serious funding because after we have a project that we want to build the biggest shea butter processing plant in northern Ghana. And we aggregate the shea nuts. We set up state-of-the-art infrastructure. It will employ over 500 permanent workers. We work with over 10,000 women groups and associations. Then we will process the butter. They have a word they use. Is it extractor or something like that? We extract it into different
products.
Yes, we refine it to different products. And we can even go ahead to use to produce the creams and other stuff, and also export the semi-ones for pharmaceuticals and other stuff. And this creates a lot of employment and even revenue for the government.
Governments are not listening, or government have decided that because it doesn't endure to our benefits, we don't care about what happens. Our leaders becoming too selfish instead of being self-centered. Is that the way you begin to see things from?
Oh, yes.
Engaging with them.
Yes.
You're realizing that African leaders are not preaching what they are not working.
They're not practicing what they are preaching.
So it's a different. They say different things to us, but they practice different things.
Yes.
So they don't want the African youth to come to that level, so they can always do their body politics and keep moving us and keeping us in the trenches. But for me, I believe that if we're sitting on time bombs with unemployment, it's a big issue. So I think we should be able to look at it. Now, if you look at the prosperity dialogue that is ongoing with a team empowering SMEs, women and youth in African single market, innovate, collaborate, and trade. How do we achieve this if leadership is not walking its talk?
Exactly. So what we can do at our level is still continue to advocate, to dialogue with them, to keep pushing, mobilizing the youth behind us, keep sharing our message. And that is why in some African countries, the youth says that we are tired of diplomacy. We want to use the other way. You even go to a government office and then you tell them, I have these investors. I need you to give me a letter so that I can bring in the investors. And they will tell me that either you give them money, you pay for that letter, or they will tell you that how do we ensure that the monies are used for the purpose. I said, that is your job, right? I'm a Ghanaian. I have an investor from the US. They want to put in $1 million in my shea butter business.
So you just need a guarantee.
I need a guarantee from the
But that's
government.
one thing I've been advocating. It's not about time we move from giving money to people, but rather guarantee
Yeah.
so that we can have sustainability in the entrepreneurship level.
Sure.
For women and then the young people.
Sure.
Once you know you have government backing, everything will be streamlined. You don't make mistakes.
Exactly. And I keep saying, this is what I've been saying, that if you want to eat with the tortoise, you don't tell the tortoise to go and wash its hands from the river. Because the tortoise is going to walk with the hands to the riverside. It's going to walk back with the hands to where the food is. And you say your hands are dirty. Go and wash your hands again. You don't want to eat with the tortoise. That is what they are doing to the youth. Because they don't want us to be at the helm of affairs, they will keep, oh, you people are not united. Go and get united. We don't trust you people. You don't have integrity. And I'm like, listen, I want you to give me an endorsement letter. There's one government institution I don't even want to mention because we are still discussing some of the letters that we want from them. And some of them that knows that sometimes we are close to the president, we meet them every now and then. They are still trying to play games with us, but we don't want to push them too much. So what we just want is that we're going to follow the diplomatic level. And they said, how can we be sure that if we guarantee the money will be used? I said, that is your work. You can set up a committee, right, that will work with us to ensure that when the funding comes, it's implemented well. You don't just give us the letter and send it back. But I cannot assure you, right, you have to work with me to ensure that the right thing is done. But you won't say that because you are not sure that we'll use the money well, you are not going to create this employment. With that letter, you can create a lot for employment for unemployed youth. The government will take the credit. But most of our leaders, as you said, they are greedy. And I don't even have a problem with we making money. For example, if I'm bringing $10 million to Ghana, right, and I want to help me with a letter so that we can bring in the money, let's have an understanding that, okay, when AFIA facilitated for this investment to come to Ghana, you take 10% of the money. But the challenge we face is that they even ask you to pay some upfront amount.
Whereas you don't have the money.
You don't have the money.
What is the guarantee that you give me the letter?
That's the tortoise example. I'm just. Even example when we get the letter, it's like that is not even a guarantee that with that particular letter, money is going to come. But at least it will help facilitate. So the African Development Bank, they came out with youth entrepreneurship and investment banks, and which is a very brilliant idea. And they give out money to countries to give directly to youth and women businesses. Unfortunately, government of Ghana have not yet signed onto it. And now the issue is that government will have their own priorities. They say they want women banking, which was part of their manifesto. So when I approached AFDB, they told me that the government is negotiating for women banking. It seems they want to move their money into women banking, which is quite okay because the women will still benefit because this one is youth. But still, the Youth Investment Entrepreneurship Bank is something that I think is very good. And I think that because they are going to give funds to youth businesses without collateral. And that is what we have actually been looking for because the youth need patient capital. Youth businesses need grants. But we cannot get these commercial loans, even if they remove the barriers to entry, like you don't need collateral, you don't have to be in business for 10 years and all those stuff. And they give you money with very high 30% interest rate, then you'll be struggling. You'll be working just for them. The business is not going to grow. So these are the teaching challenges that we have, and we believe that at the Africa Prosperity Network, we're going to still say it out, keep voicing it out. Perchance, it may land on some good ears, and then the youth may get a breakthrough.
The youth may get a breakthrough. But Bernard, I saw you nodding your head. You want to ask Sita something before we go for a break and then a Christian voice?
I mean, I was enjoying the conversation. So maybe just a summary. So for we young people who are in Ghana, who are entrepreneurs, who are in the SME space, what opportunity does the AFCFTA present to us? And what do we need as young people? What skills do we need as young people to be able to capitalize on the opportunities and then expand our businesses?
Okay, so in business, we always have a saying that start where you are with what you have. So you start solving your problems one after the other. As I gave an example of a sister who is in Tamale, an entrepreneur, who needs to expand her business. Some of the people need skills training, certainly. We need training on skills.
And even how to handle finances.
Finances, we
Very
did
important.
a training program with USAID about 2 years ago. It was on finances and budgetary for small businesses. We did some in Accra here. We went to Kumasi and went to Tamale for the northern sector. So yes, those trainings are ongoing currently. We believe that aside building capacity of women and youth, it's just like training a soldier. After you've trained the soldier, you have to give him ammunition, right, to work with. But they would build capacity of women and youth, and then
not give them the
no funds. They don't have the needed equipment to work with, and we expect them to deliver. Meanwhile, entrepreneurship is just an alternative way of boosting the economy, because even if you look at the economy of Africa, about 60% are SMEs, women and youth investment.
Yeah.
And if we look at developed countries, it's actually the private sector that's actually driving their economies. But in Africa, like, it's even the government has pushed everything to themselves and they control everything. Like, it's very difficult that you can do something big in Africa without the government being involved. I've had people who have chased me for appointment, and people who have worked at the high level, like, why do you need government appointment? They said, oh, I just need government appointment because if you're not in the government, you are useless. Even when we talk to investors, they just want the government. You know, of IMF, World Bank, all these big institutions, even African Development Bank, everybody still wants to work with our government, no matter how we see them. But then they've left the women and youth out. So yes, we need to give access to funding for these people, and which we are actually doing at the AFCFTA. So I'm saying that we have to start from our districts, our regions, our countries, before we talk about continental trade. Because if the youth in Ghana are not well prepared, and Nigerians are well prepared and they are well funded, they are able to produce their product, they will push it into Ghana. And as part of the AFCFTA protocols, you cannot stop another African country from exporting to your country. So now, if they bring in their product that are competing with the products of Ghanaians, we will say that because this product is from a Ghanaian, we are going to consume that product if it's not of standard. So yes, so we need to prepare our youth. As I keep saying, one, what you are not aware of, you cannot take advantage of. So they have to be aware that there's something called the AFCFTA. Even if you are not ready, other youth in other countries are coming to
Ghana to trade,
to take it away from you. So we have to prepare our traders, our youth businesses, women businesses to produce up to standard, and customer service. You have to be customer service oriented, branding, packaging, all those stuff, even marketing, because now we're opening up a very big market
Space.
that comes with its own challenges. Now the second question is that how do we produce a scale in order to feed this market? That's why I said that the solution is aggregation. If we bring together about 100 young women who want to share better, they can produce large enough for us to bundle it and export to South Africa,
rather than doing it individually.
So that's more or less creating an industrial kind of a large scale.
Exactly.
Putting scale together.
That's the industrial aspect that we are talking about. Because if you talk about industries, and then government of Ghana cannot give out $10 million to establish an industry that will employ a lot of youth in northern Ghana for shea butter, then we at our level at AFYEF, AFEF, we are going because they are Nigerians no business, they will easily reduce their price. Because they are Nigerians no business, they will easily reduce their price a bit, and most of the Ghanaians will go and buy those products. Some of them are very good at customer service. Oh, Oga, how are you? Oga, how you day? How in a day? Like, they will just like try